across. Come, let's go. Look at the old Ukrainian buses and that.
Pretty sick. And to be fair, I didn't even know anything about the hotel. Literally didn't.
Urban. That you didn't know anything about anything. Every single thing I asked him, I got done all.
Yeah. He kept asking me, "Can we take luggage?" I don't know. Where are we staying?
Quick, run, bro! Run! Me and Urban are going to end up getting locked up out here.
Yeah, if we don't get arrested at least once, then it is a fail.
No, mate, if we get arrested once, that's it.
Yeah.
Once is good enough for these.
We went exploring our hotel before you to try and get on the roof. And
we ended up on a balcony.
Which didn't look safe at all. And then we decided that we'll play it safe for the first night, because we don't want to get kicked out of the hotel on the first night.
Guys, look, it doesn't actually look that much from outside. We thought it was going to be
I've been
minging.
trying to say the word thank you since I've got here, and it's something like spasibo.
But none of us want to say it.
But I've got a feeling I'm not pronouncing it right, so yeah. And also, everybody looks like people.
Because they probably are.
Like, everyone looks like they're about 25 stone and they can lift a house. You know what I mean? Like, you ever seen Rocky with that Ukraine-Russian guy? That's like it, you know? So this is us, guys.
Yeah, this is us.
Я тебе говорю, я не знаю, я уверен, что ты делаешь еще лучше. Я тебе просто говорю, где мы...
We're definitely not going up there when we just find out what floor we're on.
So this is the elevator. You've got even route and odd route. Oh gosh.
See, it's 25, man.
Oh yeah, there is 25. Hold on a minute. The other one just said up on it.
Yeah. So it probably goes 25.
Yeah, but it's surely it says 25 though. I can't agree.
Have you felt wind coming through top because it's going up that quick?
Yeah, wow. Wow, you can feel the wind, it's going that quick. You can feel the wind from the lift. It's like there's no roof on it. Like we're blitzing now at speed, like. It goes up 2 floors at a time, do you know what I mean?
We just did 22 floors in God knows how many seconds.
22 floors in 10 seconds. Well, this is where High Times loses the key.
Yo, I have.
Oh, back live. Sorry about that, guys, but we lost a live stream and it must have been the lift. So if you just want to refresh, happy days are back. I just want to show you our smoking area
Yeah.
that we located, because obviously we're urban explorers, we do go missioning, and we found this door, fire escape door.
But look at this, everybody.
So we decided, well, we can come and chill here. This is where we can have a smoke. Gosh, whoa!
Look at it all, guys.
Look at that for a view. Look at that. All abandoned out of its head.
So because we've got this, he didn't make me go across there and climb up that rickety ladder. Where is that building that you said had a ladder on it?
It's from our room.
Oh yeah, you see it from our room. He wanted me to go across, and there's a building the same as that with a rickety ladder right the way up the side of it, because he wanted a view. When we have this view from our hotel room.
Yeah. That is like the ultimate view. Like we can see the whole of Ukraine.
Right, I'll take you in room.
Now look at all these buildings here.
Lock that door, bro. Can't even open the door now. Right, you want to see them? Check the toilet. It's literally stood in the middle of the floor.
How do you got the door?
Just push it too tight.
Shut in there.
Yeah.
You got locked it or something?
No, not locked it. Just pushed it too.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, right, this is the bathroom.
Brand new TV.
But they give us complimentary soaps, towels, and we have a shower. God knows how good it is though. Look at this, guys. They give us slippers. We got slippers.
That is the room with a view.
My bed, Urban's bed.
Absolutely amazing.
Have you ever seen one of these TVs since you was a kid?
Like,
What's
where
this?
we are now is a small
What's
little
this?
town
I thought they were
about
this thin.
9 miles
What's all
away
this?
from here. And obviously, you can see it is populated. There's people going around. But once you travel,
Medieval
here,
TV.
can't really see with the light. But once you travel up here,
Yo, bro, can we ring concierge?
it's all abandoned. Yeah, we've got room service in that room.
Has that got an outside line on it?
I don't know. It probably will do. The numbers are all there.
Let's ring UK and just put it on side.
I got the fortune.
Yeah, guys, check this. This is the view from the room, and that is the building that he wanted me to climb up that ladder. You can blatantly see it right
I just can't get over
there. And he wanted me to go up that. Oh, come on, you know I don't do heights. It makes me feel queasy standing up here. That car has been crashed into that van in the middle of the roundabout for a time now. Police are here. But this country is crazy. Actually crazy. But we are going over to Domino's. Look at this. Mental. That's the third crash we've seen since we've been here.
It's on this roundabout.
We was literally here for 10 minutes before we seen it. This is Ukraine's nightlife, and I've just nearly got run over. Look at this. This is Ukraine's nightlife. Yeah, they're mental, aren't they, around here? You've just got to walk round here and hope for the best. You've got to cross at crossings and that, because it's like America, you can get any shit for just walking across the road, or get or worse, get run over and they just leave you in a heap in the middle of the road. This is actually nuts at night, this, mate. This is when I should have my GoPro on my chest.
Yeah,
Innit? Yo, and we've seen army rolling through the streets before in a yeah. That's our hotel there, the big one. Oh.
Can you eat in?
I don't know. Let's find out. Give you a sneak in here. Domino's self-accelerant fridges. It's 6 AM, day 2, and the place has finally died down. Although there's still quite a few cars over. Oh, you can't see on that side of the building. There's still a few cars over there. Like, I mean, it's busy, and it was busy heaving. Traffic all the way up the street and that backed up. People screaming, shouting, till like an hour ago. They just died. They were mental. But look at that view. I'm telling you now though, it's not as nice as it looks. It's a beautiful view, but the place is literally, it's like Baghdad. It's horrible. That building down there is absolutely vile. like there's windows falling out of it and everything, and it's chock full of people. That high-rise behind it's not much better. Like, this is possibly the worst poverty country I've ever been to. Oh, I hate this.
This is the most disgusting lift in the world.
Yeah, this is the most horriblest lift ever. I'm probably jinxing it now, videoing us in the lift.
Doors shaking and everything.
Just doesn't feel right, does it?
No.
It's not smooth at all.
It's really scary getting in it every time, isn't it?
Yeah, especially now Andrew kindly rang us and told us that him and Liv have been in this when it went into free fall and safety catches caught it. It's that bit when it's stopping that snaps cables.
Finally arrived is being put forward as a solution to the problems of fossil fuels and global warming. This landscape reminds us that such an option is not without consequences. It requires the greatest caution and clear information on the real risks it presents. Chernobyl also reminds us that if we must live with radioactivity and its unavoidable dangers, we also need to spare fuel.
Right, what's happening, everyone? This is the first look inside the exclusion zone for us. We've had to get these little devices. Tell you how much radiation you've actually accumulated throughout the day. So how much radiation has basically entered my body. I'll try and get you a sneaky look round back at the van. Very, very, very strict. So when I walk around, I'll give you a little sneak peek of them. Yeah, that's it, guys. We've got to go back in. We've got to wait in the thing. We're in a nice little tour bus, so we've got to wait at this checkpoint. Oh, nice little tour bus, TV and everything. We are off into the exclusion zone. Yeah, brother! Right, we've got a little bit of a trip now to
right now. So what's going on there? We still have people who work in the zone. It's about 2,000 workers, and they all have 15 days shifts, 15 days in, 15 days out. So what are we going to do in Chernobyl? In Chernobyl we mainly have monuments and places to take selfies. So if we see that the place over there will be busy with the other people, with the crowds, you see there are 3 buses here. So maybe there will be some buses in Chernobyl right now. If we see that the place over there will be busy, we will simply skip this place and we will go back to this place on our way back, right? To avoid the crowds, and no one will spoil our pictures, running around somewhere in the background, right? Sounds like a good plan. So, right now, in a couple of seconds, we will enter the Chernobyl town. sometimes during multiple day options, when we have like 2 days or 3 days, we can visit those resettlers, those who came back. And like I said, there were several reasons for them. The official one is culture. Just imagine that these people here, they survived pretty much everything. They survived Soviets when they came here during the Red Army expansion in like 1917, 1918 or something like that. Then they survived Stalin with Holodomor, the artificial starvation caused by Moscow. They survived the Second World War, then the Soviets came back after the Second World War and they survived that again. And then just imagine that now they need to be evacuated because of some invisible radiation. So it was really complicated to explain people that now they need to leave their houses behind. Basically everything they knew they had to leave behind and they need to be evacuated. And some people, after the evacuation, well, actually thousands of people started to come back after the evacuation, but then they found that the houses in 10 kilometer zone were simply knocked down to prevent people from coming back. 30 kilometer zone was a little bit easier to come back because it was some areas of 30 kilometer zone were naturally cleaned with the help of time, and then you were probably allowed to come back. If you couldn't prove that you were evacuated and this was your house, then it was impossible to come back. So basically, right now in Chernobyl, we have some of those resettlers and mainly the workers of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. They all live in the dormitories somewhere in Chernobyl. The workers of the power plant, they don't live in Chernobyl. The workers of the power plant, they live in another city, in the city that was built for the workers of the power plant. And in the beginning, we planned to clean Pripyat, because after we finished the old sarcophagus, the first sarcophagus, and it was completed in November 1986. Reactors 1, 2, and 3 were back up and running, and each and every reactor needs a lot of workers, of course. So for the workers of reactor 1, 2, and 3, we actually planned to clean Pripyat city, but then we realized that it's too big job to deal with, huge job to deal with, and it was, well, we understood that it's easier to build a new city, and that's what we did. We just built a new city for the workers of the power plant. Now another place to take pictures, and yes, here we will stop because there's no one here. This is the fire station and the monument dedicated to those who rescued the world from the nuclear disaster, represented by the firefighters, the symmetric investigation, doctors and engineers of the power plant, and of course the victims of the accident. Now let's go and take some shots. The robots that we used during the cleanup procedure, those guys are still contaminated, that's why they will be standing on the concrete slabs. And this fire station that we have seen right now, it works. Yes, we don't need any fires in the zone, because once we have, well, you know, last year, yeah, we had a very great fire, and it occurred in the Red Forest area, and we had a lot of problems, and the zone was closed for visitors. So the zone was closed for like 5 days or something. And the next station, like I said, will be the exhibition of remote control machines and robots that we used during the cleanup procedure. Mainly the late period of cleanup procedure, so that's why these robots are not that highly contaminated. Anyway, they are contaminated, that's why they will be standing on concrete slabs, and we've been collecting robots from all over the world. So some of these robots are Japanese. For example, the front line, the left two robots, those are Japanese, from the company Komatsu. The next three robots were about to be deployed to the moon, like moonwalkers, yes, and yet they have been deployed here to the power plant. Those two cranes are from Italy, and Soviet armored vehicle, patrolling vehicle, and the truck. So we leave the car here, take some shots, and then we go back.
Right guys, check these out. That there used to be, that was made to go to the moon, but instead it was used to clean up here. Same with this. This one was made to go to the moon, but yet it's used here. Now, that does not look like it's at all really. Just look at the welds in that.
And of course through a crack. That's probably the major.
I think he said that one was meant to be a moon as well, but I'm not too sure. And that's the actual one that was chucked on the roof and used as the thing to clean it up. All these was used in some way to clean up. Okay.
Start from the very beginning. The 12 tons cover of the reactor was called Helen or Yelena. Each and every place at the power plant was named after women's name because, well, 99.9% of the liquidators were men. And maybe they were missing their wives or something, so they were giving the most dangerous areas of the power plant female names. And Zone Helen was, well, basically that was the cover, 12 tons cover of the reactor. Well, right there, readings were about, well, more than 20, maybe 30,000 roentgens per hour, and 400 roentgen is a lethal dose of radiation. Just imagine what were the readings there. Right now we have microsieverts, and it's about 0.12 of a microsievert. One roentgen is 10,000 microsieverts. So just imagine what happens to you if 400 roentgen is a lethal dose, and it's about 15,000 roentgens per hour. Just one cigarette and you're dead. And if you ask me how much radiation did we have in the core of the exploded reactor, well, according to some legends, we tried to take readings there as well. Around the core, around the exploded core of the reactor, we had like 15,000 roentgens per hour. 400 roentgens, a lethal dose. According to some legends, we took a Geiger counter from the military base somewhere in the north because there was a nuclear submarine military base. Pay attention to the bus station. Very cute bus station. You see? With Olympic bear on the wall. Because we're going to visit the summer camp. Right? Right. So now let's talk about radiation a little bit. So we took the Geiger counter from the military base related to nuclear submarines. The famous quote from the movie, 3.6 roentgens, not great, not terrible. Well, that's also just a matter of fact, because at the moment of the accident, we had only 2 Geiger counters, and one of them had a threshold of 3.6 roentgens. That was just maximum that the Geiger counter could show them. And then they really thought that the readings are like 3.6 roentgens. But if it's great or terrible, let's convert it into microsieverts. If it's 0.14 right now of a microsievert, 3.6 roentgens equals to 36,000. Is it great and terrible? Yes, it's great and terrible. One X-ray shot is about 600 microsieverts. So each and every time you get an X-ray shot, it's about 600 microsievert, just and you absorb this radiation, because our body works like a sponge for radioactivity. It is said that you can absorb up to 20,000 per year without being affected. 1 hour flight on the airplane equals to 3 microsieverts on the airplane. In terms of 1 day tour, you can't receive more than 3 microsieverts. Normally it's 2.4, 2.6, 2.5. That's just the average number that you receive. Bananas are also radioactive. Radiation is everywhere. If you eat a banana a day, like every single day, you eat one banana. In the end of the year, you will get something like 35, 36 microsieverts extra. Once you receive 1 million of these units, called microsieverts, that can change your blood composition, that can provoke cancer in the future. Probably the transplantation of the bone marrow will save you some time, because the bone marrow is in charge of making new blood cells. So that's what we need. Once you receive 4 million of these microsieverts, that equals to 400 Rungens. That's the beginner level of the lethal dose of radiation, and it's still 0.17. Everything that is up to 0.30 is considered to be the maximum allowance, like maximum standard, like sanitary level of
56,
radioactivity.
77.
In some other countries it might be a little bit increased due to the, I don't know, uranium as well, for example. Uranium mines anywhere. But here in Ukraine is 0.30, so when the Geiger counter will be higher than 0.30, it will start beeping. But it's fine. So, about the robot. The zone Helen or Yelena. This is actually the rooftop of the reactor. 12 tons cover of the reactor. Hold a second. Yeah, GPS interference, KGB interference. Then another zone, Katya, a weak woman, up to 1,000 Rungens. I don't know why, just name remained. Katya, like Kate, weak woman, up to 1,000 Rungens. The zone Nina, more impressive lady, and it was about 2,000 to 3,000 Rungens. And there was another zone, Emma, Masha. Masha was the one where Joker died, and basically where all the robots died. Masha was about 15,000 Rungens, up to 16,000, or 12 to 16,000 Rungens. So all the soldiers, 3,828 soldiers, were sent to shovel the graphite from Masha, because robots couldn't handle it. And each and every soldier was given this kind of device that you have right now. And they had a threshold, 25 Rungens, which equals to 250,000 of these microsieverts. When the soldier receives this 25 Rungens, he got back home. And our guys, our liquidators, they calculated that in some areas of Masha it was 40 seconds or 50 seconds sometimes. That was enough to receive 25 Rungens. Just enough for a couple of shovelfuls. And that's how we cleaned Masha. German robot was the last argument against Masha to avoid sending soldiers over there. And then the history of Joker robot begins. Soviets asked Germans to build a robot. Germans asked Soviets how much radiation is over there, what are the readings. Soviets realized that if they will tell Germans the truth, the Germans will tell the truth to the rest of the world, and then the reputation of Soviet Union in terms of nuclear development will be spoiled completely, because according to the propaganda there can't be any disasters in Soviet nuclear development. So, Soviets told Germans that there is nothing special, just up to 2,000 Rungens. Germans made a robot for 2,000 Rungens. We send this robot to date with Masha. German robot lands on the block of graphite, which was about 12,000 Rungens. He died within seconds. And after that we had to send soldiers to shovel the stone. How do you like this free massage facility? Very nice. Yes, very nice, I like. A very nice road that takes us to the summer camp. Made of concrete slabs. Yeah. Have you ever seen this road before? Germany, Poland? Poland, Legnica?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I was just born in Poland, in a place with thousands of these concrete slabs. where all the roads are made of concrete slabs. And this is the typical Soviet military facility. This is the typical Soviet military road made of concrete slabs. Why concrete slabs? Because, well, it's easy to build and very easy to remove in case of emergency. A few words about the area around us. The forest that you see around here is artificial, totally artificial. In some places you can see the trees are growing in lines, like one by one. Why so? It's very easy to patrol. When trees are growing in lines, it's very easy to shoot you in case of emergency. If you are trying to trespass, you just have these trees growing in lines one by one, but it's impossible to notice these lines from a certain perspective. Anyway, sometimes you can see lines, but on our way back you will definitely see the lines. So let's say that we have approximately, let's say, something like 5 minutes to deal with this very nice road. And then we will when we will reach the summer camp, I will tell you everything that we know about this very nice abandoned pioneer summer camp. Well, at least on the maps of Soviet Union, it was abandoned pioneer summer camp. Get to this very place like 40 years ago or 35 years ago, you would be probably shot right on the spot without any questions. Like, no excuses. This was a super secret, top secret military facility, and there will be another checkpoint, so don't take pictures over there of the police officers. And there will be like a few seconds for me to deal with the paper job, and then we will walk around this very nice abandoned summer camp.
I ona potrafi oprowadzać, że ty chodzisz, a ona za tobą łazi po całym terenie, nie?
Ma mądre oczy. No.
No way, I can't believe how friendly it is. They were tagged on it here, so they must be.
They must have checked it to see.
Yeah.
Thing, innit? Tag it and
Oh, it's got food there and that. That might be why it's tagged, because it might be somebody's dog.
So, this very nice road here separates this place into two areas. The military base over there with the headquarters, with the barracks, with everything else. And that part over there, that will be like a military town that was called Chernobyl 2. Why is this place called Chernobyl 2? Oh no, who can try to guess? Why is it Chernobyl 2? Why not? Why is it Chernobyl? Okay. Each and every place, like a military base in Soviet Union, was named after the closest town. Chernobyl is the closest here. Let's say that you're in
Oh, to be fair, that'll be manned because it's got satellites on top.
yeah.
Oh no, that is it's the radiation. It's the tower. This is the mast.
You will definitely close to the second.
This is that mast that he was saying. This is that what did he say it was called?
And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now we are at Chernobyl 2. So this place was a military base, super secret military facility, and the only intention of this facility was to spot intercontinental ballistic missiles of the United States.
Yeah, see, that's what it detected. Ballistic missiles coming in.
One of them was here, another one was in the southern part of Ukraine, not far from Odessa, not far from the Black Sea.
Yeah, I bet it'd be sick to come around here at night doing investigations and that.
2 seconds.
Monitoring the United States through the North Pole. Another one, which was in the south of Ukraine, was monitoring the US through some Western countries and Atlantic Ocean and then
All this is military, man, as well.
Yeah, so this was military.
through some parts of China, Japan, and Pacific Ocean. With the help of these three devices, we were covering 75% of the globe.
This is a military base, a secret military base in Chernobyl.
Yeah, this was top secret. Look at Gunner's Tower there. Look at Gunner's Tower there, bro. for obviously St Gunna's Tower.
Oh yeah.
That'll have been to keep people in that,
Reckon, yeah.
or an entrance point or something.
If we have a receiver, then there should be what? No. Transmitter. So the transmitter was not here. It was 60 kilometers away this way. The transmitter was.
You can just see the thing sticking. You can just see the massive mass sticking through the bushes now.
It reflects to the North Pole. Well, in case of this particular radar, it was reflected to the North Pole. Since the North Pole is more or less flat without any trees, the signal was reflected back to ionosphere, and then from ionosphere, the signal was going to United States of America. If there was a missile somewhere in the air, the thing is that
Metal gate been there all that time.
I know, bro.
Man, innit?
People will have passed through that back in day
Yeah.
with all this fencing, because they'll have had loads of controls in these buildings for it, won't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
that we're about to collect the information, catch all the signals, and to create a picture of something that moves towards our whole nation.
Hey, look, the fence has just fell down. Either that or they've scrapped it.
Military base was approximately $8 billion.
Another building
The
through there.
construction of this device finished in 1984.
It was completed in 1984.
This device was completed and erected here in the middle of nowhere. And then we begin our story.
Yeah, there it is. There's the famous radar tower. Now, if we was on a private explore, I would take you up there as far as I physically dared. But I don't think we're going to get away with it today. Y'all gates open for us. This will have been a fat checkpoint. I wonder what's in them barrels, bro. Or do I not even want to know? Do you know what I mean? Do I even want to know what's in them?
That's the way to know what to dump it.
Look at the size of it. Bro, look at all the wires. It's got wires spanning all the way across it and that.
Right, hold a second. In 1984, this device was finished. The height of this device is 146 meters. The length is about 450. The approximate weight is about 18,000 tons. 18,000 tons of steel. It took 6 years to build this device, and in 1984 it was finished. Then we started monitoring the US, and then this kind of noise appeared in the US on the radio, because this very nice transmitter was interfering the civic aviation, the ships, and all kinds of radios. So just imagine you're a DJ or something. You turn on the radio and then you hear this noise, and then it's a Russian woodpecker. After these noises appeared and disappeared from nowhere, Americans were like, what the hell is this? Who could do that? Back in the days we had Cold War relationships, and of course they realized that it comes from Soviet Union. Then Americans asked NASA to figure out what's going on. And the thing is that we didn't know that Americans are already using satellites for the same purpose, for detecting missiles. NASA sent their spy satellites to Soviet Union. Then the satellites discovered these huge devices standing in the middle of nowhere. NASA takes pictures of these devices, send the pictures to Soviets, asking them, hey guys, can you explain? What is that? The explanation was, well, the explanation was the best one. Back in the days we had 3 TV channels. So what are those? 3 TV antennas. easy as pie. Then of course the
So they said it was a TV antenna.
We tried to, for the next couple of years, well, at least for the next 2 years before, well, for the next 2 years, we were trying to improve the transmitter so it would stop interfering with radio. 1986, deactivated. The radar appeared to be part of 10-kilometer zone, coincidentally, and everything in 10-kilometer zone used to be deactivated, and that's it. Coincidence. Shall we?
No, this is just sand. This is just sand on floor, bro. Yeah, the whole ground's like it's underneath.
Yeah, could they put it?
Yeah, I don't think they did, you know. They didn't, not over a mast.
Oh, maybe not over it.
They didn't put it over here. Catch me if you can. Race to the top, Sherman.
Are we allowed to climb to the top?
Well, of course, no. Of course.
No to robi cholerne wrażenie.
That's mad, isn't it?
No ja wszedłem tylko do
Come on, let's have a walk before too many people get here. Yeah, it's insane. You're walking down here, try and get a better picture of it. Check the graffiti, bro. It's huge, man, I told you. And look, it's easy to get up. You only have to get onto that first thing. Easy, mate, we'd be up that in minutes. But look at the ladders that join all the bits together. I don't know if you can see this, guys, but that ladder there, look at it, it's all twisted and it does not look safe whatsoever. And it's a high ladder, that, mate.
It is, isn't it?
They're high, and look, they get worse as the higher they go, the ladders.
I think all these, though, they've just been drowned in water.
Constantly, and snow. With snow and all the cold and that. But look, there's a lift there that takes you to the top, bro. That's a lift. I would not like to have gone in that. And then look, imagine walking across one of them walkways to the other one. And there's people that climb this a lot. Bro, I want to go and check that. Still building it. That one's only half complete over there. Well, I don't know, unless it was just a smaller version. But look, it's got platforms at the top of it and everything, bro. You know, to hang the things, but there's no hanging off them. Look at the platforms that walk out, mate. Bro, look at the platforms that walk out at the top.
No need for it either, is there?
Bro. So what's happened to that mast at the end? Did they just not finish it?
Oh no, that's the second one, the high frequency.
Oh, is it?
Frequency, high frequency.
Right, and the railings are just simply falling off. There's a set of ladders there. I'm gonna see if I can show you it. Can you see that there? Can you see where it's kinked and about to snap in the middle? And then a lot of them have snapped and are just hanging. A lot of the ladders. Look at that. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. I cannot believe the size of it.
Right, and it doesn't work. Not only does it work, it produces noises in the US, and it spoils your reputation in terms of nuclear warhead development and detect and everything. And in October 1986, the guy who was the same year was an accident. The guy who was in charge of this device, he was to make a report in Moscow about this very nice device here. And like I said, they had to work together. 3 of them had to work simultaneously. If one doesn't work, the other ones don't make any sense because you have a gap. In this very case, it's a North Pole. Now imagine what will happen to you in terms of Soviet reality if you are in charge of the loss of almost 24 billion rubles.
Probably get killed.
And now let's recall some information that the same accident happened in 1975. Same reactor, same safety test. Nothing has changed with the reactors, and in 1986 we have the same accident. And after each and every accident you mark the zone with 10 kilometers, and everything is put out of service within 10 kilometers. So coincidentally this is 7 here. After the explosion at the power plant, no one called this military base, and then the contamination went here, contaminated all the computers and super secret equipment. Coincidentally, of course, then it was taken away to the military base that was very close to China, and there was no report in October. No one cared. That is just a conspiracy. It will remain a conspiracy unless the tons of papers are still kept in the archives in Moscow. Just a conspiracy that someone managed the accident here at this very power plant. Again, the question, why this power plant? We had 9 more, 16 reactors. Why we chose this one? It was this type of the reactor with the same safety tests that we tried to hold 11 years ago. Just a conspiracy that someone managed the accident here to cover these guys. And there was nothing happened. After the accident, this place was out of service. For 2 years, people trying to save, soldiers were trying to save this place, were climbing the radar, washing it from radioactive dust.
So is all this sand just part of ground?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just a subsoil here. There was a story of the guy who served here in the army. He came here in 2016, and now he lives in the United States. And after the collapse of Soviet Union, they moved to the United States, and he served here in the army before the accident. So when this device was out of service, well, you know, sometimes in the army you have nothing to do, like sometimes, and someone just gives you orders, like, okay, you have nothing to do, then you go there and you roll this cube or something. See, this platform's on the top.
Yeah. Walkout thing.
So what is this? This is the over-the-horizon early warning monitoring system. So even if it doesn't work, it should work. So one by one, soldiers were climbing up the radar. Well, that's his story. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
When this was out of service, they had to climb the radar, standing over there on the top, monitoring the horizon over there. Wow. It's over-the-horizon monitoring system. So if it doesn't work, it should work.
Wow, so people actually had to stand up there.
Have you ever been to the top? I haven't been there 4 times.
Can you show us how to do it then?
Last year, one guy from Belarus, he was drunk and started to climb it.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't see any letters anymore on the first
chopped them
one.
off, haven't they? You can get
Yes,
off on
because
that.
he fell off from 1, 2, 3, from the 3rd floor.
How? Off one of the ladders?
Yes, and he died.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, don't climb while drunk, you know? Makes sense. Don't
Yeah,
climb.
so this is some
Don't
sort of
do a lot of things when you are drunk.
Yeah.
Just don't go out.
Please don't drive.
I'd get up there in a matter of minutes, mate.
Easily.
Innit? Not up to the top, but I'd get up to that first deck, and then my legs would probably go by 3rd one anyway. Innit?
Well, it's still possible to climb it, of course.
I'd probably end up cuddling ladder going, come get me.
But for that, you better take like 2 or 3 days. That's new. That's recent one. And in the place that we are going to visit now, there will be some places that we are not supposed to take pictures. That will be the
that will be the old storage for spent nuclear fuel. So we don't take pictures of storages for spent nuclear fuel. So the fuel from reactor 1, 2 and 3 is now right there. So we don't take pictures of that building. Later I will show you where is this place. Then there will be a checkpoint for the industrial side of the new safe confinement. We don't take pictures of the checkpoint for the industrial side of the new safe confinement. Otherwise we have a lot of troubles. We don't want to finish this trip right now, so don't take pictures of those two places. Right now you can observe reactor number 1 and reactor number 2. These black cubes on the rooftop, those are reactor 1 and reactor number 2. Then to the right now you can see the fire station. This small pink building, that's the fire station. The first firefighters who came to extinguish the fire, they were from this very fire station. In the movie there was one firefighter story mentioned with his pregnant wife. This particular firefighter received 1,900 Rungens and the lethal dose is 400. He received almost 5 times the lethal dose of radiation. Left hand, the rooftop of the reactor number 3 with Marsha, and then the new safe confinement. This is the checkpoint for industrial side of the old spent nuclear fuel storage facility, and the building of spent nuclear fuel storage facility is right here. This small building here is the spent nuclear fuel storage. And what do? We don't take pictures of this building here. And with the help of our super time management, there is no one at the place where we can take selfies. This small building here is the checkpoint. To the left right now, this is the checkpoint. Spent nuclear fuel storage, the checkpoint. We don't take pictures of these places. Basically, let's go to the monument while there is no one else over there, and I will show you how to take pictures there. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. Like this. Without this building and without that one. Like, yes, straight ahead. This is how we can take it. Straight.
Só pode fazer foto disso aqui, pra cá.
Yeah.
Now it's good. Now it's much better. So the old sarcophagus was meant to last 30 years. In 2016, the new sarcophagus was completed, and that's what we have right now. That's the new one. The new one is about to last 100 years. Within this 100 years, we need to figure out how can we manage to get inside, then how can we dismantle the old sarcophagus and bury all these elephant feet properly.
So is the old one still in there over top of it?
That's the reason why we have the new one. Because the old one was made out of concrete.
Yeah, and it was cracking, weren't it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Were it as bad as they say when they were saying it had holes in it big enough where you could get in? You do know.
Faz uma pegando esse desenho.
Yeah, this is how it was like. The only way to get in is to use remote control machines and robots, because there's a lot of dust. Well, we have some, protective gear. This is how it was before. You need to use protective gear, you need to be very careful, and for that thing we have 100 years. Within 100 years we need to get inside and dismantle and bury everything properly. If we will not make it within 100 years, we will have to build another one.
So what, it'd be bigger and over the top of that one?
Yeah, bigger than that one.
Jesus Christ, I can see this ending up the biggest dome ever.
This is the biggest one right now.
Oh yeah, it is the biggest movable structure, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest and the heaviest
Movable, yeah.
structure
They had to build roads and everything, didn't they, to drive it along?
Was built over there, like 300 meters away to reduce the exposure to radiation for the workers, for those who build it. And then with the help of like...
But they'd have still been under a lot there, wouldn't they?
Yeah. There were like 250 hydraulic jets. Like...
Yeah.
It's like push it step.
It's like, yeah, it's like what mega movies use. So what do they store in there, the old rods and that?
Yeah, well, uranium rods, for example. Fuel.
Is that why it's so tall?
Yep. Uranium fuel from reactor 1, 2 and 3 because we stopped them in 2000, the last one. And when you stop the power plant, you need to store the fuel somewhere because, well, the half-life of plutonium is about 24,000 years.
Yeah.
So the only way to...
Because they said that'll carry on giving out stuff for thousands of years yet, won't it?
Yeah. This will produce a lot of problems for the next thousands of years. Anyway, we need to bury everything properly. If we will not
Yeah, but then does that not contaminate the ground then, and then cause problems later on in life? If you bury it.
Well, there are special ways how to bury. You dig a huge hole, then you cover the walls with concrete and steel, special stuff that also has very.
But then that breaks down after so many years.
It's just
That's just causing problems for 100 years down the line.
We still have Kim Jong-un to think about. We still have Russians with their nuclear train.
I'm not bothered. I don't think you'll live that long for it to matter anyway.
Yeah. It's not for, for our generation and even for the next generation to think about. This will last 100 years. Okay. If they will not manage to deal with this, the old sarcophagus within 100 years, that's not my business anyway. Like come on, that's for future generations.
But they said the other one would last a lot longer than it did though, didn't they?
Yeah.
So do we reckon this one will last 100 years?
Yeah, I guess we will destroy this planet a little bit earlier then.
Yeah.
97 years.
100%.
As long as we have assholes like Putin and the other team.
Like any politician.
Yeah, or any other politician. Norway is okay. Maybe.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, there's a few. No?
Look at it, more I go underneath it, look at that, 56, 77.